People are truly not prepared for what's coming. Bitcoin and XRP will be number one and number two. My channel is all about keeping you stoic, keeping you calm, keeping you out of the noise. There's a reason why Jesus Christ told us to take the middle ground. Miyamoto Musashi, a samurai swordsman, undefeated samurai swordsman, says operate in the void. Bruce Lee says be fluid like water. One thing that is constant is change. And if you cannot control your emotions, if you don't understand how history often rhymes, you will be a victim of these markets. But today I'm going to show you how the cycles play out over and over and over again. And once a human wakes up to the reality that this is nothing new under the sun, they will see that it's from the micro to the macro. It's the cause and effect. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The reason why I believe in XRP and Bitcoin is because I understand the systematic shift. So I'm going to take it much deeper today. And that's what this channel is all about. And I'm very, very proud to say that anything we talk about is something we actually do ourselves. We became millionaires in crypto. We became millionaires outside of crypto by studying at a deep level how the 1% stay the 1%. And what we did is we built ecosystems with our crypto profits from 2020 to 2022 that are not only sustainable, but they're helping humanity. That's what this is all about. This isn't about Lambos and Ferraris and big houses and nice watches. It's about God, family, protecting your ecosystem at all cost and staying out of other men's business because you're too busy working on yours. I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So that's why I stay in my lane. I put my blinders on and I practice what I preach. So I'm going to continue to share with you on the channel exactly what I do and how we became millionaires in crypto, how we became millionaires outside of crypto. And I'm going to go even deeper with free education and showing you guys exactly how I built my ecosystem. Okay. All I'm doing is going forward, blazing a trail, making mistakes, building safety, come back and teach. That's all I'm doing. So let's go down the journey. Okay. So if you have not, I've showed this to you guys over and over since 2020. I'm going to continue to repeat the same things over and over again because it's important to understand we have to rewire our subconscious mind. You are going through a historical transformation. You're not going to stop it. The old system is dead. Okay. It's done. We are going into a new system, and I'll explain it as we go along here. But you must read. You can download this for free. Type in Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. The PDF will pop up. Out of respect, I've bought in all his books because I love his content. But you can pull up the free PDF, and you're going to scroll down, and I want you to study this chart right here. Okay. So we're going to take a look. So this is the changing world order. Okay. You have the rise and fall of superpowers. Now, I've gone over this a ton in my channel. But if you look at 9 through 18, loss of productivity, America, overextended, America, losing competitiveness, America, wealth gaps are massive since 1971. So write down that date, 1971 to 2025. The wealth gap is massive, and it became much greater from 2020 to 2024. The tech companies became much wealthier, and the middle class got a 19% reduction in their income. Okay. We have large debts. We have more debt than we have income in America. This system cannot continue like this, guys. So no matter what you say, all these in the charts economists and this back and forth in the news, guys, it has to change. You can't have more debt than you have income, and you can't just keep printing money. Then printing of money, they printed more money than in history from 2020 to 2024. Okay, they're going to turn that printing machine right back on. He's going to force Jerome Powell to lower interest rates, or he's going to get rid of them. And when they lower interest rates, your assets are going to go through the roof. But what goes up must come down. So you have to create a plan. That's what we did. We knew that it was unrealistic to make that much money from 2020 to 2022. We pulled some profits on the table. We built cash generating assets. We got into life insurance to bank on ourselves, to create our own ecosystem and bank. We opened multiple companies that created cash flow, and then we retransmuted that money into something that would multiply and compound. Internal conflicts, the left and right are completely polarizing separation right now. Loss of a reserve currency. Trump is going to weaken the dollar. We won't lose the reserve currency, but he's going to weaken the dollar because he believes in fair global trade. He told us 7 years ago, we're going to be an even playing field sooner than we know it monetarily. Weak leadership. We have transitioned from extremely weak leadership to strong, okay, businessmen. with self-interest, but he's a strong businessman. He's going to run it like a business. And that can be very beneficial for you if you know what's going on. Civil war and revolution. Okay. So now what's happening is this is a big piece here. With Klaus Schwab stepping down on Sunday, right after the Pope passed away, going from Sunday to Monday, Pope passed away, Klaus Schwab left the World Economic Forum immediately. Davos gathering founder Klaus Schwab quits as World Economic Forum chair. Now, this is important. Write down 1971. He created the World Economic Forum in 1971. Okay. And Nixon detached from the gold standard in 1971. They didn't have our gold. They said they were protecting us from speculators, just like they said they're protecting from the speculative crypto. Sound familiar? Look this way. Look this way. And they're stacking Bitcoin this way. And now they're the largest holders in Bitcoin, the very people that told you to run from Bitcoin. Okay. Now let's get into a little bit more esoteric. Okay. This is important. You have to understand Jesus told us that a man with a pitcher is coming. In November, we went into full Aquarius. He said, go up and to the right. I will have a supper for you. Where was Jesus at? He was in the middle. There was the 12 disciples. He was the 13th. Go study why there's 12 months and not 13 months. There should be 13 months. Okay. You have to go deeper. You can't just say, oh, I heard something, so I believe it. You got to understand why you believe what you believe. Very, very important. He said a man with a pitcher is coming, and now we're in full Aquarius. Ripple, water, Aquarius, quantum. Okay. The system is going to change from industrial, ground, to technical, spiritual, connectivity. It is going to be a beautiful world if you really understand what's happening. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the Jubilee. This is really important. 2017 was a Jubilee year. Okay. Based on the 1917 year, 1967 was a 50-year Jubilee. And then 1967 to 2017, there's a 50-year Jubilee. Go look it up in the Bible. It's biblical. And then I'm going to show you Ray Dalio, how he speaks around the 50-year Jubilee. He studied 500 years back. This cycle happens over and over again. So what you're experiencing isn't something that's happening. It has to happen. Trump had to be president. Okay. The Pope passing on is part of this whole thing. Klaus Schwab stepping down. Okay. All the darkness coming to light. It's biblical. It's spiritual. And I know I'll probably lose some people right here, but it is biblical. It is spiritual. It is cyclic. It happens in humanity over and over and over again. And once you wake up to the Bible being the greatest book ever written, it's encoded in our DNA. And when you start to look at it as deep understanding of how humanity works, you'll start to see that you have been in this cycle over and over again, but what choice you're going to make this time. Okay. So what's important about this, 2017 was the end of the Jubilee, a 50-year Jubilee. Okay. What is a Jubilee? Okay. It usually starts a reset of a system. Okay. 2024 to 2025 starts the new cycle, possibly the 8th year or a reset period. Okay. So there's a Shemitah. You can study the 7-year Shemitah. And then there's a 50-year Jubilee. The 50-year Jubilee is where a big debt reset comes. So let's just take it out of esoteric and let's go exoteric. So what is happening right now? We have more debt than we have income. The US dollar has 3% purchasing power. Okay. They lowered your income by 19%. It's an inflationary asset. Okay. You get poorer every single year. There's no way out of this other than changing the system. Hence, Bitcoin deflationary, XRP deflationary. Crypto is deflationary with a fixed supply. US dollar is inflationary. You cannot continue an inflationary system. Okay. This makes 2025 very, very significant. Okay. The new beginning year post Jubilee. Okay. We have the early years of a new Shemitah cycle coming and preparation phase before potential pivotal economic and spiritual shifts. You're going to see massive spiritual shifts. You're going to see massive economic shifts. Okay. You're going to see the borders in religion start to break down, people coming together in Christ consciousness with Christ, Jesus Christ. I believe he walked on this earth as a man and died for our sins and rose again. I believe that with my heart of hearts. Okay. And you're going to start to see more people. Bible sales are through the roof. Record-breaking Bible sales. Record-breaking Bible sales, guys. This is a wonderful time to be alive. Awaken to what is actually happening. Okay. So things to watch out for 2025 in biblical prophecy. Watch digital currencies and reset of a monetary system. Okay. Rise of decentralized finance system, crypto, etc. Movement toward a new world. This part is not my favorite. Movement, and I just experienced as I was traveling to Peru, and it's everything is like scanning your face, your hand when you're trying to travel other countries. Movement toward new world order or digital ID system, which I don't agree with. I just traveled. It's getting more invasive every single time I travel. Acceleration of wealth transfer from the wicked to the righteous. That's you. You did it. Stay in the middle ground. Don't get caught up in this bullshit of far left, far right. Why do you think Jesus said the middle ground? Why do you think that Jesus washed the feet of the very person that he knew would betray him? He said, one of you is going to betray me. And he washed the feet of his enemy. Jesus calls us to love each other. Jesus calls us to give each other grace. And if you start to take the middle ground, you will see that you're already wealthy. You're already healthy. He said, pick up your mat and walk. Do you want to be healed? This is a critical time. So right now, 2025 is the Shemitah, or excuse me, the Jubilee. Okay. So I want you to listen to this from Ray Dalio once again. And then I'm going to show you how he has so many books out there, but I'm going to show you this. This is really important for you to not be price sensitive. Okay. I'm not telling you what to invest in, but this is why I'm stoic. Nothing phases me. I don't care what anybody says on my Twitter. I know why I'm invested in Bitcoin. For example, I just borrowed against my Bitcoin and bought my own insurance agency. I'm using it exactly as I said I would, tax-free loan, and I'm paying it back in 12 months. I bought a cash generating asset. That'll be paid back in 12 months. My LTV is back to 100%. And now I created from this asset, I multiplied it, richest man in Babylon, and bought my own general agency. And now I have a cash generating asset from tax-free wealth. The game has changed. We are the bankers now. We are the bank now. And that's why the elites, the 1%, are freaking out because we now have control of the system. Take a deep breath.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound.
Listen.
We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s.
Yep.
I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession.
Okay.
I think.
So why do you think Ray Dalio went from on Bitcoin to now he says, stay away from debt-based investments, Bitcoin, deflationary? Larry Fink told you it was a fraud. Now he's the number 2 holder in Bitcoin besides Satoshi. Trump ran as the crypto president when he was denying Bitcoin in his last presidency. You were in the 50-year Jubilee debt reset. Now there's a lot of different interpretations of this. Some people say that, they're going to, reset all your debt. I don't know how that part works. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes, and I don't think any influencer out there has the behind the scenes on what's happening. I think we're all doing our best guess, but it does factually make sense, logically makes sense that you have to reset the system. And all of a sudden they put Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, and all of a sudden Bitcoin can shrink the balance sheet by 2045 in half because it's deflationary. If you throw Bitcoin on the balance sheet, you literally have an asset that appreciates 50% every single year. So we did that for our company. We have a Bitcoin treasury, an XRP treasury. I de-risk my cash into Bitcoin and XRP, life insurance. So I have a bank on this side. I have a bank on this side. So when I pass, my kids and grandkids will never have to go to a bank. We have our insurance bank over here. It's the Bank of Vasquez. We will go to our own bank. This is a moment in time where you should be studying this at a deep level to understand this. Okay. So this is from another one of Ray Dalio's books, Principles for Navigating the Big Debt Crisis. Okay. Principles for Navigating the Big Debt Crisis. The whole thing starts to feed itself the other way, becoming a vicious self-enforcing contraction that is not easily corrected. Debt burdens have simply become too big and need to be reduced. That's where we're at right now. Unlike in a recession, when monetary policies can be eased by lowering interest rates and increasing liquidity, which in turn increases the capacity and the incentives to lend, interest rates can't be lowered in depressions. Okay. So we're not in a depression yet. This is what I want you to pay attention. Let me read this and I'll tell you what to pay attention to. They're already at net zero, near zero liquidity. Okay. And liquidity. Money can't be increased by ordinary measures. This is the dynamic that creates the long-term debt cycles. It has existed for as long as there's been credit. We're a credit-based society. Going back to the before the Roman times, even the Old Testament described the need to wipe out debt once every 50 years. Even the Old Testament described the need to wipe out debt every 50 years, which is called a year of Jubilee. We are in that cycle now. 2025 is that change of the system. Like most dramas, this one both arises and transpires in ways that have reoccurred throughout history. Family, this is a historical, spiritual, financial thing happening. So if you can really understand that and you can step back for a moment and just use logic. We have a dollar that can be printed just with a click of a button, has nothing backing it. Every time they print more money and they lower interest rates, why do you think Bitcoin shoots up? It's deflationary. It's like gold. Why do you think gold is at an all-time high? It's very simple. They make this so complex on the news. You got people just reading teleprompters. You got economists saying all this stuff, guys. This is biblical. This is all biblical. It's been God's plan the whole time. And if you take the middle ground, like Jesus Christ said, you'll see what is actually happening. And you'll see that the resources are all available for you. They're everywhere for you. Okay. So exactly what I'm doing. I tell you guys this all the time. Okay. This is exactly what I'm doing. So I'm holding Bitcoin as gold. And I just gave you an example of that. Okay. I'm holding it forever. I will only borrow against my Bitcoin to buy more cash generating assets. I bought our general agency. So we were independent agents with an IMO. We broke off, created our own general agency. IMOs are great, but I wanted to own my own ecosystem. So I bought my own general agency. It's called Freedom Insurance. So we bought the brokerage, me, my CFO, and my COO. My CFO and COO, we bought our brokerage. I used my Bitcoin. I bought it and we're paying it back, right? It's a 14% interest. If Bitcoin's appreciating about 50% every single year on average, based on Michael Saylor's calculation, I'm netting on the interest, right? So when I'm paying it back, my LTV goes up. I'm paying them 14%, but I also open up my own brokerage, and within 12 months, that loan will be paid off. I have 100% of my LTV back, and now I have a cash generating asset for the rest of my life. Okay, we have to learn the richest man in Babylon. From there, my alternative coins, this is how we built wealth, is as they went up in 2020 to 2022, I pulled profits off the top. I wish I would have pulled a lot more, but I pulled it. But we created cash generating. You need cash flow. That's what you need. You're not going to get rich in a job. You have to create cash flow. Business is the greatest way to wealth because we can increase our cash flow. So we have 6 different companies. 3 of them are in profit, and 2 of them are in heavy profit, right? So when we profit from those Wednesdays and Fridays, so I'm the owner of the companies. And so when I get my dividend payments or from there, right, I created a C Corp, there's structuring and taxes and stuff. When I get paid any type of money, I transmute it into a deflationary asset like Bitcoin or XRP, into a dividend ETF strategy that pays me money. When I get money from that, I de-risk back into Bitcoin and XRP. I stuff money into my life insurance policies. Okay. I have monthly. So this is what it looks like. Every day I'm buying crypto. Every day, dollar cost averaging. When it dips, I buy more. Every Wednesday and Friday, okay, if the markets are down, I'll buy more crypto, the red, right? Pretty simple. Then every month I have money going into my premiums. I have multiple cash value life insurance policies. I have money going into my premiums. So my cash value, so my bank gets bigger every single month. I have more access to capital every month. I have more Bitcoin I can borrow against tax-free. I have more insurance I can borrow. So my bank and my net worth is going up every single month. I store as little as I can in the US dollar because that's 3% purchasing power. Okay. I also, every Wednesday and Friday, I give myself a pay raise. I put money into a dividend ETF strategy that pays me dividends every single month. So every time I get paid, so if I get paid $1,000, I'm putting $1,000 extra into, if I, this is in how I did this. Let me explain that part. So I put the $1,000 in dividend ETF, and now I got a pay raise every time I get paid. Okay. Now, how did I do this? I live well below my means. Okay. We became millionaires in cryptos. I have three, we have our coming up on our third 7-figure business. It's going to be a 7-figure business. And we're doing well financially, but I'm not buying Lambos. I'm not buying fancy watches. These guys are all bullshitting you on the internet. Like, your job is to protect your ecosystem. Freedom is seeing your ecosystem, your family taken care of. Freedom is when all your debts and non-negotiables, your net is paid for by assets. That's freedom. And you can do this. I did it. I lost everything because of pandemic in 2020. And I got pissed. And I was like, this will never happen to me again. I kept my crypto. I moved back in with my parents, and I spent every waking minute studying. I stayed out of other men and women's business. And I got a lot better at that, especially recently. I'm like, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're commenting. I know what I speak is my truth. And I know that we did this, and it took hard work, discipline, stoicism. When everybody ran from crypto, I went all in because I believe in what I'm invested in. I'm very fundamental. So this is your time. This is your moment. This is your shot. Okay. I'll leave you with this. God, family, protect your ecosystem at all costs and stay out of other men and women's business because you're too busy working on yours. Okay. So one thing I want to show you is we want to keep our community safe. Okay. This is the, if you go to my bio, you click the link. These are my ecosystems. Okay. I do not invest people's crypto. We do not have a trading platform. We're not reaching out to you about your crypto. QFS accounts are a scam. Okay. We'll never ask about your crypto. Do not send anybody your crypto. Okay. My ecosystems are, I have a free book, my Warrior Guide, that it breaks down everything I do, absolutely free. We have Coach JV Academy. That's my academy. We've helped 11,000 people since 2020. Subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision creation, live calls, market calls, community calls. We teach you how to fish. We don't give you a fish. Okay. I have a live workshop where you can work live with me, Coach JV. Okay. I have my own insurance company. You can do an insurance needs assessment. It's absolutely free meeting with my team in all 50 states. And we teach you about cash value life insurance, bank on yourself, trust, annuities, income for life, tax-free retirement. We can help you with all those concepts. That's an absolutely free consultation. You can sit with my team. I also have a free exit strategy right here. So for Merlin, I'm the owner of Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. It is not an investment. It's a tracker, and be able to set up an exit plan. We have a free exit strategy for you right here. I have a men's coaching program as well, where I help men get their shit together. I have my clothing line. If you see all these, hats and stuff like that, I have my own clothing line. We also have a podcast company. We have many different companies, six different companies, all based on what we enjoy doing. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you need anything, so that's if you're on YouTube right now, go down. That's all in the description. And then if you're on my social, just click link. But remember, QFS accounts are scam. Just don't send your crypto to anybody. Keep yourself safe. Spread the word. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Love you guys.